President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of the Philippines said the situation in the South China Sea has become more dire as China expands its presence in an area where multiple nations have competing territorial claims. China has shown interest in atolls and shoals that are closer and closer to the coast of the Philippines, with the nearest atoll about 60 nautical miles, 111 kilometers away, Marcos said. Unfortunately, I cannot report that the situation is improving, Marcos said Sunday. The situation has become more dire than it was before. Marcos spoke during a question and answer session after he delivered a talk at the Daniel K. Inouye Asia-Pacific Center for Security Studies in Honolulu. The Philippines president stopped in Hawaii to meet with U.S. military leaders and the local Filipino community on his way home from a regional summit meeting in San Francisco. The visit held both geopolitical and personal significance for the leader. Marcos's father, the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos, was forced into exile in Hawaii in 1986 after he was ousted in an army-backed people power uprising in the Philippines. His trip comes at a time when the U.S. and the Philippines have been deepening their long-standing alliance in a shift after Marcos' predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte, nurtured cozy ties with China and Russia. China claims virtually the entire South China Sea as its own territory and refuses to acknowledge claims from the Philippines and 4 other governments to some or all of the waterway. Beijing has dismissed the findings of a UN-backed arbitration tribunal that invalidated China's sweeping historical claims under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. Marcos reiterated that his nation wouldn't yield. The Philippines will not give a single square inch of our territory to any foreign power, he said in his speech. The U.S. says China has militarized several islands it built in the area, arming them with anti-ship and anti-aircraft missile systems, laser and jamming equipment, and fighter jets. Marcos said features in the South China Sea are slowly being turned into bases. He said Admiral John Aquilino, the top U.S. military commander in the Indo-Pacific region, showed him a model of one earlier in the day. The level of commitment China made to those military bases was remarkable, Marcos said. Tensions in the area have risen recently as China has blockaded an isolated Philippine marine outpost on 2nd Thomas Shoal, also known as Ayungin Shoal. To strengthen its maritime claims on the 2nd Thomas Shoal against China's territorial claims, the Philippines announced that it would make efforts to repair a rusting World War-era warship, Sierra Madre, that is currently dug up in the shoal and functions as a Filipino military outpost. The United States, a key ally of the Philippines, has reportedly decided to join that effort. According to reports, the United States has started offering the Philippines advice on repairing the World War II-era warship stranded in the 2nd Thomas Shoal in the South China Sea.